Hey world, this is Justin, and you are tuned to Anywhere the Needle Drops. And boy oh boy, do we have a fun show for you here. The Erly are back. The Erly is in the house. Yeah, so the Erly has some exciting things going on in their world, so of course we had to have them back. The big news is their upcoming new album release, Midnight River Show. Yeah, that album is coming out very soon, and you can pre-order it right now. So you should check those show notes. Get on over there and get yourself, that vinyl pre-order or, whatever way you want to go, the CD. But you should definitely get your hands on that. That album is coming out on August 21st, so not too much longer after you hear this. I've heard the whole album. It is great. There's a reason why the Erly are on this show, so often, because they're just one of our favorites. We love them so much. Just such a great live show, such great recorded music, and the new album's really good. You'll get to check out one of the songs, Barely Through, here in a moment once I'm done yapping at you. The other good news the Erly brought to the show is that they were nominated this year for multiple Josie Music Awards. So yeah, it's kind of fun. This show here, as you probably know, was also nominated in the media category for the Josie Awards. And then we have a bunch of our local friends who were also nominated, just representing the music scene. And the Erly are among them with multiple award nominations at the Josies. So it's going to be so much fun going down there in September to check out the show and just see all of our local acts honored so much. Good times. All right. Yeah. So again, the album Midnight River Show is available for pre-order. So check the show notes, follow those links. Also, they've got some live shows coming up, including right here in Niles. They're going to be playing The Node. That's going to be August 22nd. It's going to be a little bit of like an album release show, so that's going to be fun. Come hang out at the Node with us and watch the Erly. And they're also going to be at Yart this year and all over the place. So yeah, hit their website or their socials, see where they're going to be. But yeah, all right, we're going to sit down with Fran, Colin, and Trevor of the Erly. Simon was not in the house today, but we're sending our love to Simon. But yeah, the rest of the Erly were here in the house chatting about all this fun stuff. So check it out. Enjoy.
betrayed no matter what we say.
Well, here we are. The Early is back on the show. I think this is several times you guys have been on the show now. So I think you might be up there with like Justin Wells and Roger Klein. I think the three those acts, you guys are in the top three of most visits on the show. So, I guess I should give you like a trophy or something. I don't know.
Sounds good to us.
We love to be back, man.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
your presence is the trophy that is not a trophy for us.
Well, thank you. Thank you. That's going to go straight to my head. So I appreciate that. Yeah, we're sitting here with Fran and Colin of the Early, one of our favorites. We might get some Trevor and Simon here in a little bit. We'll see. But we're here because it's quite the year for you guys. We've got awards to discuss. We've got a new album to discuss. So we'll get into all that in a second, but just in general, what's going on, guys?
Yeah, I think we just got an album coming out. I guess that's the shortest way to say it. It's something that's been in the works for probably about a year and a half at this point, and we're approaching the final phases of it before its release.
Yeah, it's been a pretty crazy busy summer. We've been gigging a lot and trying to put out some new music. Yeah, like Colin was saying, we got a new record coming on August 21st, and yeah, we've just been kind of going at it. A lot of stuff happening.
Yeah, that's awesome. So has it been a year and a half since the last album came out?
I think
Well, 2 years actually for that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think Salem. Well, yeah, I think we're approaching 2 years. I think Salem was September of 2024. Yeah, so we're almost to 2 years. Yeah,
Wow, that is
yeah,
wild. It seems like
yeah.
that was just yesterday that that came out.
I'm the same here. Like I was, it's kind of blowing our minds how fast time's kind of going. We're like, it's only been a year, right? But
Yeah,
no, it's
yeah.
2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, in preparation for this, I was just listening back to the previous episodes from you guys, chatting about Salem Lights and some other stuff. So, wow, that's crazy. Because for a while, you guys seemed like you were just like putting out new music constantly. It was just like boom, boom, boom. It was hard to keep up almost.
Yeah, I know. We were flooding the market. We were, we were. I know. I feel like Colin. I feel like we were putting like singles out all the time, and then a live record, and because Culture was just a year before Salem Lights, I think, and
Yeah,
yeah,
it
it
was
was
crazy.
it was crazy. Yeah,
Kind of just hit the ground running with Salem Lights. That was released, but I think just shy of a year of Culture Fever, and then we released that album, and then we had some singles left over that didn't make the album, and we kind of released those a little bit afterwards. So yeah, just been trying to keep the train rolling as far as releasing new music, and now we've been releasing new singles in promotion for this album.
Yeah, definitely. So the album, it's Midnight River Show. So tell me a little bit about what you guys have been working on here. What is it that makes this album the new distinct thing for you guys?
yeah.
Well,
No, you go
oh,
ahead, Colin.
sure. Well, one of the things was we got to record in like a big studio. Like maybe not so much as far as notoriety, but I'm sure it's very well known in the Chicago community. Um, Palisades is what it was called. And like full mixing board, full mix engineering room, and a big room to record the instrumentation in. So that I think that was kind of a new experience for us because up until this point we've done a lot more DIY stuff. Like Salem was recorded in Fran's basement, and now to be fair, parts of this album were recorded in Paul's basement. So it still kind of had that DIY element for that section of it. But then we got to head out to Chicago to record the rest of the album there.
Yeah, I feel like we started recording with our producer Paul Bennett, who produced Salem Lights and also produced this record, Midnight River Show. We were recording like a few songs at his spot, and he just kind of was like, "Hey, I think we need a bigger room for what you guys are writing." So we started looking into studios, and like Colin said, we found that Palisade recording studio. I think it was in like Wicker Park in Chicago. It could be wrong. No, Bucktown. It was in Bucktown. And yeah, so we went there. We like scheduled 3 or 4 days, and we're like, all right, let's just knock it out. And yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So when he said, like a bigger room was needed for this, is that because like the sound is bigger? What exactly did that mean?
I think he kind of heard where the songs were going, and yeah, we needed like the big room since the sound was bigger, and yeah, and I think we just needed that big room with all the mics and everything to really capture what was happening instead of yeah, and so he kind of I think he kind of picked up a little early that it was going to be a different sound than like Salem Lights, which was a basement recording, kind of more low key, and then yeah, he kind of used his professional expertise to guide us that way, I guess.
Yeah, so that bigger sound, was that something you guys set out for intentionally, or is that just kind of naturally where you evolved?
I'd say maybe it's naturally where we evolved because this album it's kind of a mix of both of those sounds. Like it does have the bigger full band sounds, and then it has some more acoustic stuff. And a lot of that stuff we did it in Paul's basement to kind of capture that sound. So I think, yeah, I think by the time we were done recording a few of the songs in Paul's basement, there was kind of an understanding that we would probably need a bigger room for some of the bigger sounding songs.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of these songs for this record, we never really rehearsed them before recording. And I mean, like we brought them to the table and we started working them out just a little bit. But I think it did come from, a lot of these songs came from our like live show approach in a way, because after Salem Lights came out, we were just gigging kind of nonstop, playing a lot of shows. So I think that mentality of that kind of playing and that kind of jamming out a little bit, like big solos and all that stuff, I think that kind of just bled into when we were in the recording studio, just like working on the songs. And then Paul I think picked up on that. It was like, yeah, you guys are wanting to do that live sound, and in order to do that, you need that bigger space.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we've talked about this a little bit before, but I mean, I remember all the way back to the early days of the early, when I think the first time I saw you guys was at the River Lights Festival, and it was, I think, pretty like standard, like 3-piece rock and roll set, and so the sounds you guys have explored since then to where you are now. So talk to me a little bit about that journey of coming from that origin to all of these things you've done since then, leading you to this place.
Yeah, I think, we definitely started as just kind of like, because what Colin, we were in like we were in two different bands with two different sounds, and when we started with that first record, Shadows, it was just like, all right, whatever sticks will stick. We'll just do whatever, and it was like turned into like alternative or folk music, or it was just kind of like a hodgepodge for that first record. I know, because like what Colin, what would you call like Town and all that? That'd be like alternative sound, right? Or like,
yeah, I'd say more alternative rock. Like you said,
Yeah.
in the beginning, we're kind of just throwing sounds around just to see what sticks and everything. And I think even if listening back to Shadows and Reckless, you do kind of see hints of what would become the eventual sound of like Salem Lights and Midnight River Show. But yeah, in the beginning, it's mostly kind of just throwing stuff at the wall to see what works and what doesn't work. And I think that works with any band or any group or any artist. You can't, there is a natural evolution of your sound as you go from album to album, and just playing together as a band, we find out what we're able to do as players too.
Yeah, and I feel like also I feel like it depends too on who we're working with, because like I know Shadows, we were working with Trey Gray and Neil Carmichael, and then for Reckless, Alyssa joined the band, and that we started working with Paul Bennett, because Paul Bennett produced Reckless, and that definitely like kind of became more of like a funk kind of soul thing in a way, and then right after that, because I think we kind of had the tendency to kind of just jump immediately into the next thing with those records. So like Reckless was done, so we immediately jumped into Culture Fever, and that was produced by Nick Rapley, and he had a really heavy hand in that sound, and that's where it became kind of like a disco meets like alternative indie like thing, and we had like horns and strings and all the extra stuff, which was awesome. And that record took the longest to make. We were making that record for like a year now, or sorry, not a year now, but like it took us like a year to make that record, and it was really worth it. It was a great record, a lot of production. And then I think after that, Colin, I don't know, you probably agree with this, like we immediately jumped into Salem because Alyssa wasn't in the band anymore, and we got Simon on board, and we just set up wanting to make demos, and that became the record, and it was like very stripped back.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we kind of just hit the ground running, and a lot of those songs for Salem were written during those sessions, so it kind of makes the album have this whole cohesive thing that it's it's being created while you're building it, kind of.
Yeah, well, I've always loved the like the willingness to explore and expand the sound across, you know, not just your recordings but your live shows as time has gone on. And I think that's one thing I noticed about even in that early iteration. I mean, you guys have always been just such a killer live band and willing to just like stretch and go anywhere and see where it takes you. And I think that really plays into kind of where your sound has gone, both recording and live, you know, to this day.
Yeah, that's always been an important part of our sound, because live you can really do whatever you want, and that's where a lot of the experimentation of our sound comes from. And even like seeds or core ideas of songs comes from jamming live. You know, you might come up with a chord progression or some kind of riff, and you kind of stick that in the back of your mind, like, okay, that could be something we could work on later as far as a song. So yeah, the live element has always been I think, a pretty significant feature of the band.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting closer and closer to melding the two, because like I don't know, Salem, it kind of has a live. The majority of that was a live, like in studio recording. But then I feel like we're getting closer to melding the two, because we keep talking like we want to make these records as live as possible and some improvisation and all that stuff. And I think we're getting closer, especially with Midnight River Show, like the song "Barely Through." That was just tracked live, and it felt like a live song, like what we would do live. And I feel like we're getting closer. Maybe that's one thing. We're just getting closer to melding the live show with what's on the record, and bringing them closer together. Yeah.
Eventually, we'll have to invite an audience to the studio, offer them bus rides and everything.
It'd be pretty fun.
I'd be down for that. I better be on that invite list. So, you know.
Oh yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You can drive the bus if you want.
You know, there we go. There we go. I have experience driving a 15-passenger van, so you know, I got you guys. So
it's the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So as you said, it's August 21st, Midnight River Show. Is the album, I think, available for pre-order right now, right? So people can get in on that. You guys have some vinyl. You got the digital coming out. Where thanks to you guys, I've been blessed to hear the album already. It's fantastic. But why don't you tell me a little bit about where you feel like this album, you know, stretched you into new places? What was challenging or new to you guys with this sound?
Well, I think
yeah, you go ahead, Colin.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, as far as the recording of the album, I think that was a big thing, because we were taken to a kind of a studio environment that we had never really been before. So like the writing of the album was, by the time it was time to record, we knew the songs pretty good, but then it was going to be like, how are we going to capture this in this new way that we're recording that we haven't really done before? And as far as the overall sound, it was, again, going back to what I said, it was kind of like just seeing what works and what doesn't work, because you do have like that big live jam of Barely Through, or you might have that kind of more stripped down acoustic performance of like Fuse Fire, something like that. So I think it was mainly, yeah, just seeing what works and what doesn't work, and how it can kind of all be cohesive into one album.
Yeah, and I feel like the one thing, like with going to a bigger studio and having a limited time, you know, we were limited. Like, and our producer Paul, who's normally like, hey, let's do this again, or let's do a safety take. Since we were at limited time, he was like, all right, that's good. We got what we needed. Let's move on. Even if we were like, oh, we would want to try that one more time, he had to be the one to be like, nope, that was fine the way it was. That tone is okay. We're on a. No, he never said we were on a limited time, but like, you know, he so that was like a first where it was like, okay, we really have to kind of lock in and play. And I think since it is like our fifth record and we know each other so well, it wasn't a disaster, but because we were able to trust each other and go into that mindset of like, you know, oh, we have to really nail this every take. Other than a couple false starts maybe, but like, yeah, that was definitely, if it was our first record, that could have been a nightmare. But yeah, since we know each other so well, like, we were able to make it work. But there was definitely a pressure, I feel like, in the back of our brain, just telling us to really be on it. So that was definitely a new thing there.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that Paul at the studio here and I comment on often with you guys is we can really, like, the cohesiveness of you guys as a unit is so visible in the way you approach any live room. I mean, I've seen you play a variety of locations, and I clearly also in the recording process. You guys, that familiarity is clear to those on the outside because you guys are such a good unit, and leads to some good stuff. But it looks like we got Trevor in the room now. So hey, Trevor, we're just discussing the new album, and the question was where this new album stretched you guys into some new challenges, new sounds, new territory. So tell me a little bit about your perspective on that.
Of course. Having to travel to Chicago to do it was, I would say, our biggest stretch. It was the farthest away from home we had been to record. So having a drive there was a little like, what's it going to be like, on the first day? But the drive home after the first day was great because we got more time as a unit to sit and listen to the tracks and go, wow, that was really cool. Like, this album's going to have this. We described it almost as the Chicago weight to the album, a little bit more of the room, the air that didn't have to be necessarily artificially replaced after the fact. What was enjoyable about it was by second day having to leave all our gear there. We usually will trip out in our big touring van, but the second day we rode in Fran's car as a unit there. So that was fun to just kind of show up, have the stuff ready to go. I think it posed challenges was recording something like Salem Lights in Fran's basement. We were a little closer to one another, but having to record everything live in the room in an actual studio, we had these large partitions where it felt kind of like we were all like doing clerk work behind like glass. So like Fran and Colin, I think Colin and I were the only two that weren't completely partitioned off, but Fran had to be completely blocked from direct line of sight. It was like window communication and everything. The challenges, were definitely like you only get chills or tension so many times while performing, and it's a bliss when you get there. But having to land it on a good take by 3/4 of the way, it's like, you better nail this at this point in the track. Personally, you better nail this or this take could be wasted.
Yeah.
I caught in with Fran, and I think barely through was maybe take 2 or 3. Finish line was pretty close to the same. Hilariously, I think our biggest struggle, I think, was recording a track called Insane Design, where I play bass, Fran plays drums. And I think that was the only thing that we had to start with, was we just tracked bass and drums. Colin was after the fact. And I think sometimes we'd have Simon redoing or tracking even separately to that. That one was the most stripped together piece of music, strung together piece of music we did. So I don't know why it was such a battle for some of them, but that one in particular, I recall being a tricky one.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, for some reason, that one, I don't know, was it because Colin you brought that later in the game and we didn't know that song just yet? And we were.
I think so.
Insane Design?
Yeah.
Probably. I think I was struggling to be able to sing and play it at the same time. The funny thing is, like, we do everything within our power to be a live band, even in the studio. And it's only happened a few times. That's one of them. We're like, all right, maybe the live thing isn't working here. Let's try and break it down bit by bit, and then it just gets done in one take.
Yeah, that was a lot easier.
It was so funny because it was so bizarre because we started with the drums. I have brushes on the drums for that song, and Trevor was on bass. And Colin, how were you guiding us? Because we didn't know the song at all.
He was playing
Yeah,
it, and
I
I
had-
remember
I
you
had a
like did a
scratch.
talk over.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
a
yeah.
scratch vocal, and it would be like, okay, here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4. We go in, and then I
Softly in
would
the
kinda,
mic, he'd be like,
yeah, I would like whisper, like,
Yeah, we had no metronome or anything, so we're just going like,
so it's like
to
this.
nothing.
I'm like,
Yeah.
and it'd be like, okay, bridge is coming up, 2, 3, 4, and bam. And then I think we just got that in one take, and then we kind of just build off the rest. Then I went back in, I recorded the acoustic, knocked that out in one take. Simon went in and did piano, maybe just 1 or 2 takes, and it's crazy how that works. Because like I said, we try to make it as natural as possible, but if we have to take an alternate route, it just gets done like that.
Mm.
Yeah,
No,
that is
for
so
real.
wild because, I mean, anyone that's seen you guys live knows that so much of how you guys operate is that direct connection. I mean, you guys are constantly like looking at each other and vibing off of each other. So to have that separation in the studio must have been a bit of a, throw you off kind of a thing.
Yeah. I remember Paul, our producer, saying he wished almost in a way that he got even more people there as almost like a live performance experience. We did have Dan Baxter. I know, is it Williams?
Yeah,
Fran?
Jake Williams was there.
Jake
He was
Williams
brilliant,
showed. We had a couple people hanging out, just it was cool. It was fun. I mean, it was a great studio. I envy the people that just can go and hang out in a situation like that because it was a hang. We were obviously in the hot seat, but you'd have your off time and you just sit there in Palisades control room, and it was really fun. That's what I wish we had more of, was more like the reaction from people that are just there, because that really, I think, is something we feed off of. Is that except minus maybe the hooting and hollering in the studio unless it was necessary. Yeah.
Well, awesome. As I said, I've heard the whole album thanks to you guys, and it's so good. Very excited for it to come out officially and see you guys live. So this will obviously be out after this, but you guys are coming out to Niles tonight. You play all over the place, but Niles is where I live, so it's always special to me when you guys are here. This will be out before you guys come to town to play the Node on the 22nd, as you mentioned earlier. So just tell me a little bit about what it's like coming out to Niles to play a show.
Oh man, it's easy for Colin and I, given that I think we damn near could, I've done it before. I've passed out for a nap and been like no alarm and made it to the gig in 5-10 minutes, still waking up. So it is nice to basically be playing in our backyard, seeing a lot of familiar faces and letting that our music graze the air to the point where my wife would still be at home and she's like, I can hear you guys. So getting it's great because even living in the town you're playing in, we can still walk around and not have every single person be like, hey, you're in the Erly. Hey, but the people that know about it know it and love it. That's great for us.
Yeah, and I think it's cool because it is just the Node itself it really is a community project. Like I know Mark Allstott, one of the guys who's in charge of it. We know him from Hey Annie. He's helped the band in many ways throughout the years, and I'm trying to remember if it was around when we had our Salem Lights release show. Maybe it was, because that was just around the block. But we've played at the Node 1 or 2 times, I think, and I've seen other bands there too, and it's always packed, even regardless of who's playing, because it really is cool to just see everyone in Niles just coming together for an evening of music, whatever that music might be. So I know we're going to get a lot of people out there who have heard the singles, and some of them have gotten the album ahead of time. But it'll be a cool thing just to see. I mean, not the whole town, but a large portion of it just coming to hear some live music.
Yeah, I mean, that was the whole idea behind the Node. I was chair of the board that spearheaded that project, and the whole point of building that space was, community gathering to bring out the folks of Niles and give them a space where they could come together and enjoy live music and food and whatnot, and just be together in one space and community. And that's what it's about. And yeah, you guys have played out there a couple of times, and I tell you, there hasn't been a one of them where someone hasn't come up to me and been like, "Oh my God, you weren't kidding! Those guys are killer." So yeah, I mean, everyone needs to come out and check out the show at the Node for sure.
And if anyone is reluctant, I do love that Niles Brewing Company right across the street does beer to go. We even took part in that while playing. I recall Colin vanishing and coming back with 3 beers
In mid song.
Mid-song, easily. Like, Colin, we're thirsty.
Colin, it's your turn.
Love it. Shout out to Brandon at Niles Brewing Company. Yeah.
And I do have a wireless thing now for my guitar, so maybe I could go there and grab beer while playing, you know?
Indeed. Well, and Second and Main right there has a bar as well, so you could probably just walk in the door, keep on playing, place your order, and there you go. So they'll probably run it out for you even.
Right?
Yeah, it's listen, we're having a lot of fun in downtown Niles. That's for sure. We're having a good time. So okay, so the new album is obviously big news, but the other big news we have to talk about is the band for the second year now nominated for some awards at the Josie Music Awards. So the largest independent music awards in the world, and y'all got some nomination nods. So how's that feeling?
Even better than last year, man. Because honestly, we got a lot more. Even consideration is a big deal. Is there at least, I think, 4 or 5 this year?
By my count, you have, let's see, I've got it right in front of me. 1, 2, 3, at least 3, 4. I'm looking at 4 plus, Simon got his solo nod. So at least 4 that I see just at a quick glance. So that's not nothing,
Yeah.
That feels pretty good. to put it mildly, it feels pretty good.
Yeah,
it's funny because I think Simon's going to be there for those awards.
Yep.
So we think it's pretty rock star of us to not show up for an award if we can.
Yeah. So, because this show also got nominated, so we've been planning the journey down there. I've got some family and my girlfriend's all going with, and we were talking about all the bands locally that got nominated, and it was like, well, the Erly, they got nominated, they're going to be down there too, and I was like, no, they've got other stuff going on. Simon will be there, and someone was like, that's very rock star of them. That's very.
I know.
Can we share? Go ahead, Fran.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I think we got a weekend of gigs. I think that weekend, yeah.
Yep.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. If it worked out differently, that is my 30th birthday. It'd be a hell of a time to spend it down in Nashville. But
indeed, yeah.
What is a rock star and juxtaposed to having Simon have to accept this is there was a time recently when we traveled up to record the music video for Finish Line. I woke up, I knew it was my music video that day, and I drove us up in the van. We land there, we get Joe Bauman all situated, we get this office space going, and we're sitting kind of in between set and take and everything. And Simon goes, "So what song is this for?"
Yeah, he's like got his big coat on.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he had sunglasses on. Maybe just thinking that. I don't know, but like, yeah, he's literally like, "So, what song is this?" There's this huge set up and everything. Yeah, Joe Bond's getting all ready.
Yeah. So. I drove him up. He slept the whole way. I mean, what a life, man.
the life of a working musician,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, you guys have shows that weekend, and well, you know what, we'll be down there. The bands that are going, and myself and my family and friends, we're down there celebrating. We'll raise a cheers for your birthday. But you guys are working. You're doing some live shows, and obviously awards are cool, but like you're there to play the music. But it does have to feel special to get this kind of a nod. I mean, what does it mean to you to get a nomination like this, or these nominations?
I think the recognition above anything else is the coolest part of it, regardless of whether you actually win the award. To just know that you've been recognized by a large group of people or a organization like the Josies. I think, it at least tells us that we're having some impact on the people who like what we do. They like it enough to mention our name and nominate us for some awards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like it's nice because like we were saying, we have gigs those weekends, and that's just kind of like, I don't know, we're just constantly going and constantly playing and constantly playing, recording, writing, or whatever. And it's just a nonstop go, and it's nice just to have that second of like, oh yeah, cool, it is kind of working in a way. We're getting at least recognized for it, right? So it does feel nice. It's a good little pat on the back. So keep going.
I think it's
Yeah.
kind of a little bit rewarding to know that we're not even anywhere near there, but our name will ring in the hall of the Grand Old Opry. you know, and especially whoever it is, because I don't believe it was any of us that submitted for us, that they went double hard this year than they did last year. So someone believes in us tenfold.
Wait. My understanding was you guys knew who submitted yourselves this year, but last year was the mystery. So you don't know who submitted you this year either?
Oh
I
no,
don't-
no. So we do know this year. Last year was the mystery.
Okay.
Yeah. Last year
Okay.
we were like, what?
What? Yeah. Okay. Good to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Will never be solved. You'll just never know. Well, and also like what a cool thing, because if you think about like the cohort of local musicians, and I'll throw myself in there since my show was nominated also, but like by my count, I think there are 7 different individuals or groups that have, from our neck of the woods, our music scene, that have nominations this year. I mean, that's quite the nod to this music scene.
Mhm. Definitely. It's
There's
Yeah.
something in the water here. There's something in the water in Goshen, Niles, South Bend.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
They're coming for you,
That's-
Nashville. It's going to be the next Nashville in 2 years' time.
We'll know we're in trouble when the bachelorette parties show up in the
party bikes,
cars.
yeah.
oh, the shot bike table things. Yeah, goodness gracious.
Main Street's going to be the next Broadway.
Yeah.
Just know that the rent's going up and the price to play is going down.
Well, let's see. We're gonna do, as stakeholders, we're gonna do everything we can to avoid some of that nonsense. But
Oh God, right? Oh boy.
but okay, that's a perfect transition. So speaking of that, obviously the album's coming out shortly. They got the awards, but what's next for the Early? What's the future looking like for you guys?
Well, I
Yeah.
know we did, one thing, we did just finish booking a Midwest tour for October. I think like the first weekend of October. So that's going to take us back down through India and up through Ohio again, playing with some new bands and some other bands we've played out there before. But it'll be good to get back to the OH10.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna be playing a lot of shows. We got some help now with some booking and all that stuff. So it's gonna be, I think next year's is gonna be a lot of playing and a lot of getting out there, and lots of shows. We're always writing a little bit, so I think there's nothing on the books just yet for making another record. I think we're still trying to get this one out without going crazy, and I think we do want to focus on a lot of live releases, kind of get some live releases out there and all that stuff. But yeah, just playing a lot of shows and all that jazz. Getting out across the country.
We're definitely going to try to capitalize on our back catalog of some great live sets that we did. We definitely had a goal in mind when we toured Michigan during the 4th of July week, that those were not going to go unnoticed for forever. And I mean, to promote the live stuff is kind of what I think people will want to see, even if they're wanting to book us. I mean, hearing it is one thing, but seeing it is also hopefully something that we'll get to capture in the near future as well. We do have Yart in South Bend. We're playing that Sunday. I believe that's September 9th. So it's pretty cool to see these festivals that we've always kind of floated near in the local area that we're getting asked about. And yeah, Fran's right. The next year, we have someone out of Chicago that loves and treats us right. And we're hoping to see our name pop up in a couple of Chicago circuits as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I mean, the recordings are always excellent, but the early experience is the live experience. You've got to see the band live, that is for sure. But and again, as you mentioned, you know, the new album's not even out yet. It's probably too early to start thinking about what's, you know, coming after that. But you know, we've already talked about how much you guys have expanded on, stretched your sound, explored new territory. Is there anywhere you think you might want to go as far as your sound in the future, just to try it out, or what are you guys' thoughts on that?
80s synthwave. That's what we're going for. Actually, no, I wouldn't mind having some crazy drum sounds on a future record. Yeah.
Yeah. We're thinking about deleting an instrument for each of us as we go on. So the drums are definitely going first.
Yeah. I'm gonna have just a nice little MPC and just
a rolling pad.
Yeah. Everyone's gonna hate the next record.
Right.
Be like, what is this?
We strongly will be against AI across all instruments and vocal parts, though. That is something we will never foil to. I mean, it's convenient in small portions, but I'm not gonna go down a rabbit hole of that.
Yeah, well, I think that you bring up a good point, because we're actually talking to Paul Bennett, the producer of Midnight River Show, because we're like, man, we're everything's going in that direction of AI and like fake stuff, and I don't know. I think we were talking about for like the next record, like, what if we just did everything to tape live? Like there's no computer involvement at all. Like we would literally have to take the tapes to be like mixed and mastered, like with the tape and all that stuff. And which that would be pretty wild. And I think that could be in our future, just recording straight to tape. And it'd be costly, but yeah.
True. But we are so used to being a live band that I think that could be a natural step. You know, it only just it's like, you know, because with digital, it's like, even with digital, we try to do it like it is the take, you know, but you always have that thing to fall back on, whereas with tape, not so much.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to that. And yeah, whatever you guys come up with next, because whatever you explore, it's always good. I always love what the Erly's putting out. So
thanks, man.
Yeah. All right.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. The album is Midnight River Show, drops on August 21st. And then let's see, that'll be probably about a week after this episode releases. And then shortly after that, you guys will be playing at the Node here in Niles. So looking forward to both of those dates.
Heck yeah.
We're looking forward to it as well.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, take care. Keep on doing what you're doing. It's always good catching up with you. I'll see you guys soon. All right.
Righteous, man.
That's good, man.
Please, Justin, thank you.
Yep. Take care. You have been listening to Anywhere the Needle Drops, a product of Red Chuck Productions. Keep up on new episodes, live events, various creations, and anything else we've got going on over at redchuckproductions.com or by visiting us on social media at Red Chuck Productions. Special thanks to Hero Jr. for our theme music. You can check them out over at herojrmusic.com. That's HEROJRMUSIC.com. And a big shout out to the crew over at Theory One Studios for sound duties and so much more. You can check them out over at theory1productions.com. Also, thank you to Earthworks Audio for outfitting the Red Chuck Studio. Check them out at earthworksaudio.com. Please make sure to support all of our guests by visiting their website, Bandcamp's social media, buying merch, and going to shows. Give musicians and artists your money. We'll be back at you with the next episode. Until then, thank you for your time. Here's to life.